Namasabhayai Antarayatimiropa Santaye Santapava Namachintya Vaibhavam Tannaram Vapushi Kunjaram Muke Manmahe Kimepi Tundilam Ahaha. Before they make me technically to speak before you, just within a second, within a minute, just I will. My own personal, lot of thinkings, a lot of thoughts running in over me, but only a few observations to make. Within this 4 to 5 months or almost 6 months, normally a person will not do a thing which he has to do or will do a thing wrong thing, and then he will strive for prayaschitta through dharma and bhakti. So bhakti to start, dharma and prayaschitta. But incidentally it became, I had to present a paper on prayaschitta first, way back in July in Orissa University. And then exactly a month back, I was in Udupi in the All India World Conference, prestigious conference, and I had to present a paper on the different connotations of dharma. And I came back. I have started with bhakti now. I am into bhakti now. 2024 concludes. So dharma, bhakti, prayaschitta, bhakti, dharma. It comes in this way, in fact. Many concepts, not alone many concepts, many things in our, like mythic society, it is a mystic thing. No one can define it very, very particularly. That is what my contention in dharma also. Everyone says, follow your dharma, follow that dharma, this dharma. No one exactly able to codify what is dharma. Swadharma, okay, swadharme nidhanam sreyaha. But what is dharma? Of course the Shastras say, Chodana, Lakshana, Artha, Dharma, etc., etc. So that is what I present. The same with bhakti also. Bhakti is anubhuti. It is a personal experience. All of us drank a cup of coffee. You can say how it was sweet, it was sugarless, all those things. But how it went inside, only one self-experience can be like that. The same with bhakti also. With this, because time factor constraint, I am straight away going into the subject here. In fact, this Panniru Thirumurai held. A few words here to have. Panniru Thirumurai held Saiva Siddhanta, Shiva Bhakti, Thevaram, Nalvar, all those things take into synonymous here. It is my one observation and request also. It is a concept like, just if you, because most of us are very much aware of the Nalayira Divya Prabandham, Nalayira, that is 4,000. The same way this Panniru Thirumurai also for Saiva Siddhanta, Saiva Bhakti tradition, not even Siddhanta, Bhakti tradition. This. So I just try to force for Purusharthas, everyone knows Dharmartha and Kamam in Moksha. In Tamil literature also it is there. Aram, Purul, Inbam, Veedu. All the thing exactly. Aram, Purul, Inbam, Veedu. And the first 3 goals are to be achieved while we are here alive. Dharma, Artha, Kama. In fact, there are also some nuances there. Dharmena Artha, Dharmena Kamaha. So if you strive for this, moksha is what Kathopanishad says, life after death, or what is happening after death, moksha. Already elderly scholars, they spoke about Adi Shankara and other things. Gold was there, but Adi Shankara made Kundala, Todu, everything were this. He gave this in the form of. So, simple way to achieve this bhakti, he says in Viveka Chudamani as a Prakarana Grantha, Moksha Sadhana Samagriyam Bhakti Reva Gariyasi. That which will lead you, that is Kalo Nama Sankirtan. In fact, Adi Shankara, see, Namulam Likyate Kinchit Nanapekshita Muchite, that is a saying. People, the elderly scholars, they won't write without any source. And they won't say it is not necessary also. The same. When Adi Shankara said Moksha Sadhana Samagriyam, he took the words of none other than the Lord Krishna. He says, Naham Vasami Vaikunte, Nayogi Hidaye Nacha. Mad Bhaktaha Yatra Gayanti. What we can sing? Only the praise of Lord. Mad Bhaktaha Yatra Gayanti, Tatra Tishtami Narada. Words of very Narada himself. So to begin with here, Panniru Thirumurai, we have to go a little bit back. Thirumular was the first to use the word Saiva Siddhanta. Shiva, according to Siddhanta, not alone the god of Samhara, he is the Pati or the master with 5 functions. Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, that is Laya, Tirodhana and Anugraha, Panchakritya. For Lalita Sahasranama, they say Panchakritya Parayana, the name. Kalidasa says in Kumara Sambhava, Kimyena Srijasi Vyaktam Utayena Bibarshitate Ato Viswasya Samharta Bhagaha Katameshita. 7 sages asking Lord Shiva, which is your real form? The same in Tamil it is also, it says, the Supreme Being taken the form of Brahmatva, Vishnutva and Rudratva and functioning all these functions. So the idea is this one. Saiva Siddhanta says Pasupati Pasam. Pasu is we are the Jivas, and our goal is to achieve the Pati, the Master, with the Supreme Being. And what are the hurdles? The Pasam. Pasam is of 3 kinds: Anava, Mala, Malas, that is known as impurities. Anava, Karma and Maya. In fact, how to come out of this? 4 margas are mentioned here. To get rid of this Karma and Maya, Malas, in Saiva Siddhanta Marga, for Bhakti, related to Bhakti, this Sariyai, Kiriyai, Yoga, Jnana Margas are being prescribed to come out of this. Even these Margas, they can get rid of you only the Karma and Maya Malas, not Anamala. That is only with the grace of God. So I just come forward, and with this small introduction I come to the ancient literature in Tamil. This is from Sangakala song. You can see my own, the original one is there. I come with this. See, in the Sangha literature, 5 divisions of lands or eco-regions were there, known as Chennais. Kurinji, that is Kurinji is the forest, hilly hillwoods. Mullai is the forest and its tract. Marudam is the land, agricultural farmland. Neithal is the coastal area. And finally it has been added Palai, that is the zone of desert pastured zone. And each geographical zone or part is headed by one presiding deity. In fact, Kurinji for Seyon, it is in Tamil, Lord Subramanya, and Mullai for Mal. That is how the modern historians say, of the small worship of Mal only Vishnu has come. And Marudam is again by Vendan, Indran, and Neithal by Varuna, none other than the god of rain, Varuna, and ferocious, because it is very awesome. That is why Palai is headed by Kottarai Durga. So now this Bhakti in ancient Tamil period was, why it was there? Some sort of many factors. So based on the geographical land formation according to the nature, worship of gods including nature and natural powers indicated in the rich heritage culture. As Rigveda invokes the Surya and Indra, Tolkappiyam, the ancient grammar book of Tamil, also says about the worship of Surya and Indra. And another one work, Irena or Kalviyil, where I mentions Lord Shiva was the leader of the presiding deity, the Sangam period. And Lord Shiva and Muruga, they guided the way for the growth and development of the Tamil Sangam. Now, coming to the exact point, what is this Panniru Thirumuraigal? Panniru Thirumuraigal, there are 3 words. Panniru, in fact, it itself is 2 words. Thirumuraigal then. Panniru means 10 plus 2, that's all. 10 plus 2, 12. Panniru. Thiru is a term of honorification, and Murai is a common order or books also. So the Panniru Thirumuraigal are sacred compilations. It contains the Devaram in hymns of praise of Lord Shiva, Tamil Devaram, the hymns of mover, that is Sundarar, upper known as Thirunavukarasar, and Thirumular, Sundarar, Manikavachakar, Thirumular, and other authors. Then when it is a compilation, who had initiated this? Now the detailed list of Thirumurai is given here, 12 volumes. The first 3 books are authored by Thirujnana Sambandar, the first one, who is known as Amsa of Lord Subramanya, who lived only 16 years, who started singing this Pannisai, singing at the age of 3. And the story, I think probably you might have heard, he had the divine milk from Lord Parvati Uma at the instruction of Lord Shiva. And Pannisai, we were talking about the music. As a child, he was making the talam with hands. Lord Shiva himself had the golden, the talas for him to do. So like this he started. He was the first one known as the Devara Pan, who created a lot of Devara hymns at the beginning, visiting lots of temples. First 3 volumes, and 4, 5, 6 authored by Thirunavukarasar. His original name is Marulnikiyar, we are going to see. Lived for 81 years. His works are known as Devaram, and Sundaram, his work is known as Tirupattu, the 7th one. And the 8th volume is known as Tiruvachakam. There is a saying in Tamil, Tiruvachakathirku Uruhar, Uruvasakathirku Uruhar. If it doesn't move you, the emotion or the bhakti, then nothing can move you at all. And the ninth one is a compilation authored by 9 people, 9 authors, saints. And the 10th one again very important because Thirumandiram authored by Thirumurai. The Thirumurai is the yogi also, one of the 18 yogis. He introduced the word Saiva Siddhanta. And he was the one who equated bhakti with love, in fact, Anbe Sivam. And normally, again our scripture says, Sarira Madhyam Kalu Dharma Sadhanam. You have to take care of your own. So, usually philosophy or philosophical followers, they used to say, no, disregard the physical means, all those things. But this physical body is the means to achieve this. He said that, see, I have understood you are residing in myself, so I take care of my body. Thirumurai. That is Thirumandiram. It is a kind of stotra and everything. And again, 11th one is a Prabandham, again compilation by 12 authors. And last one is the one very important. It is known as Tirutondar Puranam, not Periya Puranam at all, Periya Puranam, authored by C.P.R again. Now, this compilation, when it is say compilation, who has compiled it? At the instant, because there is a lot of stories behind it, I am skipping this. At the request, because this Chola king, Rajaraja Chola, heard the hymns sang in the temples, then he got attracted by this and he requesting this Nambi and Nambi. He is also one of the 63 Nayanas, author of the poet also, and he requested we have to, they could together they started making the story. The scriptures were lying in the temple. See, normally in Koil means temple. If it is Vaishnava tradition, temple means only Srirangam. And if it is Saiva tradition, if it is a temple, it is only Chidambaram, Nataraja temple. So they started, they found the scriptures and they started correlation. It has happened almost 9th, 10th century. So Nambi himself was one of the authors. Thus, Rajaraja Cholan got the name, a honorific name, Thirumurai Kandasodan. And now this Thirumurai 12 I have told you. Normally it is one of the classifications, not many. It has been classified into 4 categories: Stotram, Shastram, Prabandham and Puranam. Stotram is the hymns, verses, poems, whatever you can say, stotras. Shastram is like a Prakarana Grantha, like Viveka Chudamani. It gives you the guidelines and philosophical treatise also. And Prabandham is asserted some, lot of meters, chandas, everything introduced in this period, in fact, in Tamil literature. And Puranam is the history, recatical history, detailedly explaining the stories of the 69 Nayanmars and 9 more servants. It has also a source book also, that one also. Now coming here, the Samaya Puravakal is saying 4 important people with them. The first 3, I have told you, Thevaram by Samandar, then Upper, Thirumurai and Sundaran. And Upper and Thirumurai Samandar are almost contemporaries, but almost 50 to 60 years. Upper lived for 81 years, till 56 years. In between, after 30 years, he became a Jain. His name was even Dharmasena, suffered a lot, in fact, to come out of, and then he came back to Saivism, and as Madam told, he then converted the royal patronage. Mahendra Varman also, as a Saivism, made a drastic movement here by their hymns. And in fact, a very interesting fact about Upper is there, we are going to see. Then the Pallava period. And here the Samayagurvan, you can see that the line drawing, and it is a temple also. Manikya Vasaka, the first one is Thirumurai Sambandha. Then Upper, Thirunavukarasa, his original name was Marul Nikiya, and then Sundaramurti Nayana, and the Manikya Vasaka. In fact, they stand for this. First one is Thirumurai Sambandha, known as what we call Sriyai Margam. Kriyai Margam. Kriyai Margam is what we call Satputra Margam, leading to. And Upper is known for Sriyai Margam. And Sundaramurti Nayana Sakya Margam. In fact, he equated, like Arjuna and Krishna, he moved with Lord Shiva. He called Shiva Pitta Biraisudi. Lord Shiva says, you only call me as madman, you start with the Pitta. And Manikya Vasakar, Jnana Yoga. Real Jnana Yoga about them. And this is Samaya Puravakal. And this Thirumurai categories you have seen. Now, a little brief history about them, Sambandha, you can see. And you can see all these statues. Someone was asking me yesterday when I compiled this, all these statues, everything you find, you say, Wikipedia, it is found in London, it is found in Germany, Oxford. See how it has travelled everywhere, of course. It is that they kept very safe there. And Thirunjana Sambandar was born into a Saiva family, and Sundara's Tirutondar Togai and Periya Puranam are early records about him. He was a child prodigy, as I told you. Todudaya Siviyan in 1.5. It is said that if a god is there, Panchakritya is important. Thirunjana Sambandar also, within this 13 years, 3 plus 16, 16 minus 3, he had did all these things. He made this Srishti, a young fellow, he got into life, and then Katal, that is the sustenance, provided food for the people when they are suffered in famine. And then again, Jainism and Buddhism, very important. Mangayar Karasiyar, one of the 63 Nayanmas, with her help, he turned her own husband, Kunmaran, that is Pandyan, as a king, with the Tirumandiram, you can see with the Vibhuti, that is, he suffered a lot. And then again, Maraital also, all these things he did in fact. Then as a child poet, they traveled to the many places, almost. The Devan mixed Jain monks, one of the references I have given here, and he died across, of course, historical references are available. And see how he has developed from the bhakti to the individual. On the day of his death, of his marriage, he was compelled to, when he was 16 years, he called each and everyone. So whoever was taking part in that marriage, he called everyone, and he pleading to Lord Shiva, they were all merged into the Jyoti, it is known as Jyoti. Then finally he got, in fact there is a reference in Purana, you will be surprised to know, there is a reference in Purana, after everyone has got and merged into, just before this C.P.R, his wife's name is, he saw someone is calling behind the temple, a girl was standing there, he was addressing Swami. When I called everyone, you did not come. Then he said, no, I am in the period of menstruation cycle. I fear whether to come or not. In front of God, there is no difference. He takes her inside also and merges with. That is the tradition of bhakti, how he developed here. And we can see upper now. Only one just reference I can tell you. Normally, people, when normally say, you can see like a converter for dosa like that. It is always with that he is understood. Suffered a lot from the Jains to come back. Only one reference I can tell you. The spirit of resurrection of the small Shiva temples. He used to have this tool. See, the bhakti not mere worship, or as Tagore said, don't find, someone is trying to find there, and Guru Govind Singh also. No, you are not there, you are there here. Like that, if we see anything, a premise of temple is not clean, he used to clean it immediately. Now the trend is there, even in Tamil Nadu, in Karnataka also, a lot of Shiva temples, that is known as Ulavara Panniru, Ulavara Tundu, cleaning the temple premises and taking the flowers, service-oriented bhakti he did. And the tradition continues even after the 14th centuries, even today. He is the founder chairman or founder president of the Ulavara Padi Tundu Mandram, Upper, Tirunavukarasa, in fact. That is the bhakti he takes to common people, to the involvement of all the people. That is very important. And the child poet Sambandhan, and both of them together, they believed, and he believed to live for 81 years. And Sundara, in fact, he was very cordial with Lord Shiva. He used to talk with him like anything, and you can see. But his hymns, it has a biographical specific than the hymns of Sambandhara Appara, and they did lot of service, and it is when he made a breach of promise, he became blind, then he got back his vision also fast. The Sundara. Then coming to the Manika Vachaka, Tiruvasakam, and he was a mystic poet, in fact, a mystic, Jnana. He did this, and 9th century Tamil saint, and he was, in fact, Manika Vachaka, we don't used to call him at the level of Bhakti, Tiruvada Urar, by his name only, in fact. He was known as Thiruvada Ura. He was a minister. I think you must have heard about the story of almost the elders making the fox into horse, Pariyai Nariyaki, all the story. And when the king gave him, like Bhadrajala Ramadasa, when the king gave him the money for administrative purpose to buy the horses, they built a temple. Both Bhadrajala Ramadasa and he also, Tirupperundurai. There only he wrote the Tirupalli 8 we are going to see. So the Tiruvasakam and Tirukkovyara are the 8th book of Thirumurai, and the 8 volumes are called Tamil Vedam is known as Ezhudha Kelavi, unwritten one, and these are all Ezhudhiya Maraigal, written documents, Vedas. And Manikava, now, as Madam was telling about Andal, Thirupavai, in Siva Vishnu temples, the Thirupavai is being sung. Now it is very near Dhanurmasa, from December to January mid. The same in Siva temples, that Thiruvembavai and Thirupazhi is being sung every day, even today. That is the morning tradition. And coming back to this, one of the Thirumurai, he was a great mystic poet. Belonging to, his date is not ideally fixed, anywhere between 2nd century BCE to common century CE. He was one of the Siddhis also. It is said that he lived by his yogic powers, he lived for 300 years. He wrote one verse for 1 year. He wrote one verse for 1 year. He was the one, as I told you, the Saiva Siddhanta. That is his work, Thirumandaram, as like a Prakarana Grantha, a guideline book. It is the 10th form of the Thirumurai. I am listing that all the 12 Thirumurais, and such is the one. Now coming back to this Thevaram, in fact, you can see the palm leaf manuscript is one of the folios present in the British Library. The Thevaram is the first 7 volumes. It contains number of hymns and all I am leaving here. Not only they exhibited their personal devotion, but also a community of believers through their songs. Their works are important for understanding the Saiva Bhakti movement, not Siddhanta in fact, and this is the base for Saiva Siddhanta also. The early medieval South India, especially to Tamil Nadu, in fact. And what is this Thevaram? 2 meanings are there. One is the garland of Lord Shiva and create love towards the Lord. The 2 meaning. And it is composed by the mover between the 6th and the 8th century. Mover means 3 people. And according to Champaklakshmi, one of the greatest historians, she opines the 3 stages in compiling period. One is, there were at least 3 stages, composition of the hymns by the Thevaram. Not only composition, they sang the songs also. The song is already almost a different, name itself different. Nattapadai, Gandharam, like that. They have got their 11 types of singing, a little bit of variation of Carnatic music in fact. Todudaya Seviyan Vidai Erivo Tuven Madisudi. This is the format of Oduwa singing in the temple. And she says, and the second stage is adopted the temple rituals, festivals in pilgrims and by singers. Pathikam singers was the Oduwas, those who sing. And the structuring of these poems into the canonized texts around the 11th century. And significance, they helped a structure, otherwise this literature have gone scattered here and there. Like Uwe Samnadiyar did for Tamil literature, they structured poetry for the Tamil devotional tradition with his own authoritative canon. Thereby relegated, of course very important, not very important in fact, relegated the Vedic art, it was very limited to the people. In fact, they have got to the common sector of the society, giving the prominence to the local traditions with the vernacular puns. It was the beginning in fact. And in fact, they extend rather than reject the Vedic tradition. It is not so, because I have an example also. It is not antagonist to the Vedic tradition. It complements and redirects the devotee through bhakti, through songs which they know, that through their medium. For example, in concluding course of puja in Shiva temple every day, Vedam Avatarya, the 4th one the priest used to say, Dravida Vedam Avatarya, now sing of the Deva. There is a tradition of singing the Panchapurana tradition even now present to this day. Singing of Devara songs in special tunes, Pannisai, that is Panchapurana. I have given just a glimpse of this Panchapurana, it's a glimpse story. This Panchapurana created to simplify, because not all the songs no one can sing every day. So the portions from this Thevaram, important Trivachakam, Tiruvaisaippa, Tirupallandu, they have selected one piece. All the 6 times of puja, those who were attempted for it, yes, they made the singing, and this Panchapurana is tradition even today in the temples. And now Periya Puranam is a sacred, the story of 63 Nayanmars in fact. Periya detailed biography. He had the source books as I told you, Tirutondar Tohai of Sundaramurti Nayanar and Tirutondar Tiruvandadi, keeping this as source book because he was working as a Prime Minister Kulottanga Chuda. The king was always about the, what we call the materialistic world. He used to read the Civex Chintamani, normal books Then the king, the Arulmozhivarman, it is his own name, he initiated, go to this one, and then he said, then you yourself write a detailed history. That is the background of writing now the contents of Periya Puranam. It is literally delineating lives, deeds and sayings of the 63 Nayanars, whatever you call. They do not, very important, they do not belong to any community. For example, you take the Kannappa Nayanar, he is a hunter. Kalahasti Puranam gives a detailed description of the story of Kannappa, one of the 63 Nayanars. They hail from various communities and background. First Nayanar himself, Thiruneelakandathu Koyavanar, he is a part of, in fact. So high and low, monarch, in fact kings were there. And rich and poor, men and women, no, 3 women were there, Karaikal Ammayar, Mangayar Karasiyar and Erayanar. Mangayar Karasiyar was the wife of the Koonmaran Pandian. She is from the Chola country. The king followed the patronized the Jainism. So she did not know what to do. She used to have the vibhuti and mingled with the turmeric powder, she used to draw here, it says. So then with the help of Thirumurai Sambandar, she converted the king to from the Jainism to the Saivism. So they aided the prey from all walks of life into the divinity. Thirumurai Sambandar, as I told you, at the marriage, he made everyone to merge with God. And this is the Nayanmas, you can see all the pictures. There will be 74 actually, 63 Nayanmas, and the Togai Adiyargal who are devoted to Shiva, Saivism, they are 9, and the last one being Sekidar. In fact, you can see here, the Karaikal Ammayar was the senior most. Karaikal, the place, Ammi, Lord Shiva himself called her Amma. That is why. And she was the only Nayanmar given a sitting position. All the other Nayanmars you can see in the standing position. She was the only to have the sitting position, the regard given to her as a senior one. And historical background and sources, you can see, just I am skimming fast. One of the earliest mentions, lot of historical evidences are found about the Deva, because it is later Chola has come. That is the reason. Lot of evidences are here. I have made a record of all those things here. You can see in Grantha Thiruvallam, that is in the temple, lot of inscriptions. And in culture, how it has developed it here. Converting the Vedu, as I told you, Vedic from Agamic, followed by the temples, overlapping Purusha. Then they were referred as Oduvars. Singing up now, very important factor, I think, great art historians are here. They will be wondering, I think they may be knowing definitely, in a few temples, the last point, very important, musical pillars we find. Why these musical pillars in Madurai Meenakshi temple, Nellayappa temple, Suchindram? There is a reference that as soon as the Devaram is being sung, the people who are skilled, they go to the musical pillars and they used to dig the music. That is the reference there. So nothing is without any use. So the musical pillars were used then in those things as a natural musical instruments to offer the hymns to the gods. And you can see Padal Petta Sthalangal, Madam mentioned, about 275 temples. These Nayanmas, they visited to all the places, made clean, they made public. So see this whole region, that they made all the common people to follow the Bhakti tradition. In addition to the temples, not only temples, they took care of the geographical, environmental also. It is mentioned the Kadu, the forest, the Sthalam, and the Turai means what part, and Kulam is Tirtham, the water tank, and the Kalam, where the people and everyone is there. So such, the Devaram, you can see it contains everything, geographical, environmental aspect of everything. So I have just mentioned here, and almost I came. Now regarding this Panniru Thirumurai, you can see the main object to analyze the period and sociological background in which the Saivite sign and put in their efforts to revitalize the divinity and glory of the worship of Shiva by facing lot of hostility from the religious. The reason being, the period covered by consultation is 5 centuries. Prior to the 7th century, the major portions of Tamil Nadu were ruled by the chieftains called Kalappirara. Their period is known as dark age of Tamil country because scanty availability of evidences, literary, archaeological, epigraphical. That was the reason, one of the reasons. And that was an era where Hindus, Jains, Buddhists were developed rivalry in seeking patronage and influence in royal and urban cities of South India. The Devaram verses made more oriented towards folk tradition, that is the common people. And the stories vouchsafed the shift to the Bhakti movement. The hymns made the devotion to easily acceptable to Viva. Now, thus, this Panniru Thirumurai is a canonical literature, unique in more than one sense, written in Tamil, formed the fountain of Savya Siddhanta philosophy. Outpourings were superbly devotional. It was this sparked the Bhakti movement and regional movement also. The sincerity and depth of the poems hit the heart of the common people. The result was that the popular and powerful faiths slowly faded away. All the 63 not great poets are not. You have to remember that. The 63, all the 9 marks are not great poets or authors. There are many. One Pusala Nayanar, he made a temple in his own heart, brick by brick. When Kailasana, the temple consecration was ready, the king made, Lord Shiva came into his dream and said, no, I am going to be there, Thirunintravu, I am going to be there in the temple, he is my devotee, so that I cannot be present, you change your date, venue. So such was the great Pusala Nayanar, very poor man. Like that, the Appu the Adikal was there. He did service to the Thirunavukarasar. He did not know who is Thirunavukarasar at all. So the movement, how it has changed, you can see. So all were not authors, and at the same time they reached everyone. Most significant, Bhakti movement reached the common people. Proved that service to the society, helping the needy. That is what Trinyana Sambandha says. When the girl with the corpse of the going to be the husband, he was no more. He heard the cry, Thirumurai Sambandha. Immediately he said, no, instead of going to temple, I will just try to remove the sufferings. That is more important than to me, service. The glorious period in Savisam Bhakti was when the 60th Nayanas lived and showed the real way here. And at the consideration of Panniru Thirumurai, you can say, as Narada Bhakti already, Sa Bhakti Hetu Asmin Dharma Prema Rupa Bhavati. That is Narada Bhakti Sutra. That Bhakti is pure love. This point underscored by this movement that worship with service and love is more important than mere namesake demonstrations. Arunagirinathar, in fact, a 15th century poet, a zealous devotee and a great with Guru Bhakti, he says, he tried to remove, in fact, it is his own topic, it is entirely different topic. He was the one who tried to remove the differences between Saiva and Vaishnava Bhakti. In each and every Tirupugal, he used to sing the greatness of the Shiva and Vishnu, and then comes to Muruga, like a poor student talking about some other subject. Oh, with this I have completed. He used to sing about the praise of Lord Shiva, Lord Muruga, and all the avatars. You can see any reference in his work, Adu Tirupugal. And then he comes, oh, you are related, Lord Muruga, you are related, him, save me. He used to say. Yeah, that is, he says, Uyar Karunai Inba Kadal Mulki Unai Yanadu. That is very important. I would like to drown in, he says, don't search the outside. I have to search within my heart. That requisite life can only be given by you. And with this, one of the greatest movements of Saiva movements, the Saiva Bhakti movement took place in Tamil Nadu. Between these centuries, the movement encompassed the entire land, and the inspiration for the shift in pattern was writings of Saiva saints, which formed the canonical literature of Saiva Bhakti tradition. In fact, Saivism is a pan-Indian phenomenon, right from Asst to Himachalam. So, but these saints took it to the common man through their hymns. The Tamil Thirumurai literature paved the way for the devotional literature in regions to appear in their other language also. For example, Jnaneswari, Jnanadevi, everything. Maharashtra movement started 8th century, more than 8th century, 13th century. This literature occupies a special place in Indian literature. A study of Saivism is incomplete in India, is incomplete without reading the contribution of Saiva Siddhanta. Tamil science is not understood. With the confidence that emergence of this Panniru Thirumurai, a period of Renaissance, Reformation, because from the Sangakala, in between a dark age, then from 6th century it has been revived and it has been compiled in order to keep it in tandem. Thus, with that you can see, when I used the word Renaissance, madam was telling me, oh, in the Renaissance it must have been there earlier. Yes, I told that. In Sangam literature, mere worship was there. With the mere worship form, they have taken to as a movement, that is a transitionary movement. I have given you only a glimpse of this in fact, because it has got every one topic is a rather long subject. With these few words, I thank all of you and the organizers and my own madam has given me this wonderful opportunity to share my views with you. Thank you.